We'll do it live.
Okay. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
Do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
Hello, welcome, episode 3. Today we're going to be painting GR86. I'm going to be moving a lot faster today than I did in the other 2 episodes. So if you're new here, if this is the first episode you're jumping in on, you may want to go back and check out the first episode or even at least the second episode so that you can catch up on what we're going to be doing here. Today I'm going to be focusing more on spec maps and some of the other things that we can do with it and exploring a little bit more what we can do with the spec map. I'm starting with a blank slate GR86. I have a couple of logos and pictures preloaded. We're doing the same thing that I did yesterday, just about exactly. So if you're wondering what I'm doing here and you're having trouble following my clicks, that's fine. Go back to yesterday's video, watch that one. That will show you everything that I'm doing right now with my hotkeys. I explained pretty well what buttons I'm using, everything I'm doing, which layers I'm activating and deactivating, what tools I'm grabbing. And what I'm doing and why exactly. We're already almost at the point where we were yesterday when we left off. So that should show you how quickly things can move when you kind of get the hang of what you're doing. I did kind of cheat a little bit. I had a few things preloaded so that we can kind of see. I had the mandala, the elf lady. I already had the template uploaded, and I've got a couple of other things uploaded too, and I've already actually exported these 2 files to where they need to be so that the work can go on very, very quickly. And once we get done painting this couple sections of car here, I'll probably do a few more little advanced fun things. So just bear with me while we get this car set up to start. Okay, so far that's what we've done in the few minutes that we've been running. Our car looked like this a minute ago. Now it looks like this. Now yesterday when I was talking about spec maps, I told you that black is absolute zero spec map on these cars. And I'll show you now that we kind of got a car built really quick and we can move straight into a spec map. I'll show you what a spec map can actually do for you. So here in GIMP we've got our our car color that we just made this just now. You watched, it took a minute. Here I've got a spec map made for this car in this color. We went over what the spec map color wheel does yesterday, but we'll get way more into it here today and I'll explain a lot more. Yesterday we started with a solid black base like that. I'm going to go to edit and I'm just going to fill with foreground color. I'm going to do these really quickly. If you don't know what I'm doing, you have to maybe go back to yesterday's videos and catch up a little bit and then come back, but that's fine. It's all a learning curve. I'll show you what I'm doing, explain it a little bit. I'm going to move a lot quicker today than I did yesterday. Okay, so We're going to use this as our spec map. I've already exported it to our spec map folder in our car. Today it's the GR86. That's what we're doing. It started out as this nice, pretty, started out as this nice, pretty blue here. We're going to switch it over to this black, like that. I'm going to Control and E and export it into our car. So this is what that solid blue paint scheme looked like, or sorry, spec map looked like on this paint scheme. Rather dull, rather dull. So if we go to black, all that's really doing is adding a lot of shininess. It's just adding some on the shininess level. You can see how much it's much more shiny now. And then if I go back, if I go back to GIMP, I'm sorry. This was that shininess layer that we just changed. If I bring it all the way to bright, bright blue, this is all the way matte. This is the more blue you add, the more matte your color gets. So we'll just do that real quick. We'll change it to that. I'm going to edit, fill with foreground color, Control and E for export. Now we've changed it from that color back to this one. You can see it's dull, washed out. So that's what the blue channel does. It's just the shininess. So let's just bring this shininess back to 0 here, kind of in the dead center, just so that we're back to 0. This is our 0 kind of. Or wait. I guess this is our 0, right? So we'll save that again. We'll do it. Edit. Fill it. Export it. Here's our car. Refresh. See how that paint changed. So if we change, go ahead and we change. Let's say we want to add metallic. We want to make everything metallic. If I add a whole bunch of metal, this is metal. If I add a whole bunch of metal, make it all metal, metal, metal. Pure, shiny, 100% smooth. Edit, fill with foreground color. I'll export that. Now this car will change when we reload it. Much shinier. It's kind of hard to tell, but our girl here is super chrome. She's chrome, chrome, chrome. Car is a shiny, metallic color. If we go back over to our spec map again, let's change our color up some more. Let's add a whole bunch of roughness. Edit, fill, Control and E for export. And then reload our car. That shiny top coat is now a much rougher top coat. So let's go back to our spec map again. Let's change some more things around. Let's give it a very matte color. We're going to add a lot of matte to it. This is our matte channel. Over here it's shiny. Over here it's matte and dull, 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 dull. We're going to hit OK there. I'm going to go edit, fill with color, Control and E to export. Let's bring up our car again. Reload. You can see how matte it is now. It's matte. Not very bright at all. So we've adjusted all that. And go back in here. Let's change it up again. Let's take out all the metallic. Let's take out all of everything. Let's try to build a finish from scratch. We want this outer car to be very, very shiny. So we'll keep it shiny. We want the paint texture to be really, really smooth. So we don't want to add any roughness to it. We want it to be very, very smooth. And I want it to be very, very metallic because I like that metallic sheen. I'm going to add all that red back into it. I'm going to hit OK. Edit. Fill with foreground color. I'm going to export that with Control and E. And here's our dull, washed out, boring, rough looking car. And there it is with the metallic sheen, the smooth paint, no roughness, and the high gloss. Now the problem with the high gloss, I'm going to have to move our logo on. I think I'm going to have to move our lady here. Honestly, what I'm just going to do, I'm just going to take the first one, I'm going to delete her, and this girl, I'm just going to make her a lot bigger. Scale her there. Going to make a duplicate layer of it. Shift F for flip. I'm going to flip her. M for move, grab her, put her over here. I'm not going to be too picky about how well she lines up. Close enough. Control and E for export. Go back to our iracing. There, I moved her up quite a bit. So now we can see how chrome and shiny she is. I don't really want her chrome and shiny. We got to block her out. We got to make a mask on that spec map so that she's not quite as shiny as all that. So we have to go back over to where our car paint is, and we'll go right back up to just under the paintable area here. We'll make a new layer. And this is we'll call this spec base. That's just what I like to call it. I don't know why. It's not entirely accurate. Close enough. So now we've got that new layer to paint on. We're going to select this layer because we want to grab some information off of this. And what we want to select is we want to select by color. We want to select her because that's the stuff that we want. Back into our spec base layer because this is what we want to draw on. And we want to change that color of spec map. We need to take away that metallic sheen so that she's not quite so chrome. I'm going to give her just a little bit. And I kind of want her to be just a little bit duller than the rest of the car. I kind of want her to stick out almost like a sheet of paper on that. So that's about the color. I think that will work. A little bit of metallic left in it. No roughness. I want it nice and smooth still. But I did take out a little bit of the shiny, a little bit of the gloss. I moved it a little more matte. Matte's over here. Gloss is over there. I took some of the gloss out. So this is the color that we end up with. And I'll hit OK. So now we're on that spec base layer that we're drawing on. We have our mask selected. All we have to do now is edit, fill with color, and there, she's full. Same thing with this one. We'll click on her because we need her layer active. We're going to select by color, click on her, go back to the spec base because this is the one we want to draw on. Edit, fill with color. I could have just as easily, I'm going to hit Shift and Z here and undo that real quick. I could have just as easily grabbed a paintbrush. That's really big. Grabbed a paintbrush and just painted her in. It's just as easy. But I like the fill. It works good for me. So now this was our spec map. This is our colors, or car paint. This spec base, this is the mask we just built to hide our ladies from the clear coat. I'm gonna grab it, drag it over here, put it down, export it. Simple as that. back into here. When I reload this, her shininess should go away. There, she's paper white again. Little bit shiny still. You can see she's just still a little bit shiny. Mostly papery. Still smooth. The car still has that fancy, beautiful metallic glint to it. Just a little bit of shine to her. Not much, just enough. I like it. I think that's kind of what I was going for. Now, I've got this. This is just literally a honeycomb pattern with a transparent background. It's all black. And what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to drag it into my spec map. And I'm going to use this to change the color and the texture of certain parts of the car. But in order for me to know where the hell the car is, I'm going to go grab the mask. So from over here, this mask, duplicate layer on that. Now there's a mask copy. I'm going to grab that mask copy. I'm going to bring it over to my spec map. Now I know exactly where I have to paint on this car. Grab this guy. I'm going to shift S, change the size of him. I'll make it quite big. Move it down. Sure would be nice to have a wire frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab this wire. I'm going to duplicate that wire level. I'm going to grab that wire copy. Bring it over here. Throw it down there. Now I've got a wireframe to go off of. Now I can take this dropped buffer and I can shift S. I can make it stretched where I want it. Grab it in the middle here. Line it up. It's not quite long enough to reach all the way back. That'll do there. I'm going to scale that to make it stick. And I'm going to grab my move tool because I want to move it. I don't want to do anything else with it. Grab it. I'm going to pull it down so it's right in the middle of that line. Right there. Then I'm going to take that. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to shift flip it. I'm going to grab it and move it. That's going to be touchy. I'm going to have to zoom in, using my positive and negative buttons to zoom in. This guy's supposed to be way over here. This guy's supposed to be right up against him. Oh, I'll have to overlap it just a little bit so that everything lines up. Like that. It's not bad. Okay, now I see up here, it's kind of sticking in where I don't want it. So I'm going to grab my eraser, get rid of it. Slide on over. Just going to carefully erase all that. Now I can see this purple mask is going over top of our tail fin a little bit. So I'll just select it. I'll just erase that as well. Good. I'm going to hide that mask. I'm going to hide the wire copy. This is what we're left with so far. Let's bring the mask back up, bring the wire copy back up. Looks like I've missed a spot on the rear of the car. So I'm just going to go back down to this guy here. I'm going to duplicate it again. I'm going to move it with my move tool. No, actually, I want to move it way over here so I don't have to worry about it interacting with other stuff too much. About there. That looks pretty good. Grab my eraser again because I want to get rid of this stuff. Erase it off of here. Erase it off of there. Good. Okay, let's hide that mask. Hide the wire. This is what we're looking at. Control and E, I'm going to export that. Now, with any luck, that should change the way that the sheen behaves in that pattern on this car. Are you ready? And, geez, you know what? I think that's a wrap. I'm going to upload that car. You guys can go race it.